All right. So, hello. We're here with Greg Todd, a healthcare innovator, physical therapist, entrepreneur, everything. Nice to have you,
Oh,
Greg. Thank you.
great to be on your podcast. I'm actually excited for this because y'all are not just like hosts of a podcast. Y'all are like we all grew up together, you know?
We did grow up together, yeah, or at least, yeah, we
Yeah,
sure did. The years we've seen
yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
For
That's awesome.
sure, for sure. But yeah, so obviously you're healthcare, we're in real
Mhm.
estate. Common denominator, of course, is the marketing, business, and specifically social
Yeah,
media, and kind of putting yourself out there. As for you, we know we've seen the growth, right, from Periscope to where we are today,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, so just a lot. It's not just what you get out of it; it's the collaborations, the connections, the going forward with where it can
Yeah,
take
and I
you.
think there's another common denominator. It's like maybe a few others. It's people. It's
Well,
people.
yeah, of
It's
course,
people.
of course.
And I have to be honest with you. A lot of the ways that I have set up and organized my businesses is to be like a real estate
Mhm,
agent, if you know that,
mhm.
right? So
Yeah,
most physical therapists, most healthcare professionals, they're very transactional. Like they think they're so relational, but they're not, right?
they're not.
It's like they think, oh wow, I'm helping. And yes, your job is helping people, and you're helping people with problems, with injuries, with this, that, da 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 da. Da.
Mhm,
But the issue with healthcare is that healthcare only wants to serve people once they've paid them. Okay. Whereas what
correct.
I've learned from you guys and I've learned from other real estate agents is that no, like I'm not going to get the transaction until I have A, built the relationship for you to even consider me. B, after you've
Mhm,
considered me and you say, okay, I want you to be my agent or my therapist or my provider in whatever thing it is, then I have to serve you. And I can serve you. And there's a high probability that even if I serve you, I show you houses, I give you education. I show you how to do this in your business, this, that, da, da, da.
mhm.
There's still no guarantee that there's going to be a transaction at the end of the road, right? And so and so
Of
you
course.
guys
Mm.
understand that, right? Healthcare professionals don't understand that. And so I've had to train them that that's actually how you have to do it. You have to give
Mhm.
with very little to no expectation in return, and then just hope that the chips fall where they may. Right?
A lot of hope, right? Yeah. No, it's true. And you kind of have to go in with that mindset,
Yeah,
right?
for sure, for
For
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely a people business. Definitely, it's all about relationships and making that connection well before you even meet them or even talk to them. It's
And that's
having,
why we feel
you
like with video, with the like, trust, and no
Yeah.
factor, right? So it's just hearing your voice, seeing your face, and over time they get to know you, and it is nice because when we do meet new clients, and they do, we already have somewhat of a connection through
Right.
video,
It's
you
it's
know.
it's it's understanding that if you want to be premium, okay, you have to have multiple conversations before money is ever talked about. Okay. And oh, it's actually
Mhm.
even today, it's like
uh,
it's so much more than what it used to be. I think they used to say it was like 5 to 7
mhm.
touch points. Today it's
Right.
probably a couple hundred. you know,
Oh,
especially if
yeah.
you're going to be premium, right? So
Mhm.
so there's a difference between being a commodity versus being premium, right? So let's kind of talk about
Mhm.
that if you guys don't mind, because I think this is like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
important. Uh,
Yeah,
so
no, we're here.
then we understand why you don't have a choice but to do social media, right? Okay, so
Mhm.
when it's a commodity based product, um, I got Carrie. So Carrie's my wife, a good friend of Patricia's, and and
Mhm.
I
Great friend.
and I got Carrie the other day. She wasn't feeling well, so I went to Publix, and she likes their chicken noodle soup, right? But then while I was there, and I was getting ready to check out, I looked to my right and I saw Snickers, and I know Carrie loves Snickers. Snickers, I saw almond joy. I was like, you know what? I know she likes her sweets when she's not feeling good. So I said, you know what? Let me get it. So I looked. The price for the Snickers was like 149. Okay, and the price of the almond joy was like 149 or something like that, or 169. Okay. And so I just bought it. Now, if the price was $6, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that here. Like I can go get that at CVS or Walgreens or whatever, right? That's a commodity.
Right.
Okay. The first time I even thought about it was at the register.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't do that when it comes to buying a car or buying a home. Or if I'm going to pay
Mhm.
somebody a sizable amount of money, like what people pay me for consulting, there has to be multiple conversations. So if you think about it for you, there's got to be conversations that people are seeing that you all are authorities in your area, right? Same thing for me. Okay.
Mhm.
And then there has to
Mhm.
be lots of conversations that we're having with those people before we're going to make a massive, massive purchase. Buying a home is a massive, massive decision. So I've got to make
Mhm.
sure that I've had multiple conversations with the person or persons that's going to help me be responsible for doing that. Starting a business is a massive decision. It's like you're altering your life, like your life path. So who do you want to work
Sure.
with? Somebody that you just saw down the road, or somebody you've seen on social media one time, or somebody you've seen on social media 5 times or 7 times? No, you want to work with the one that you've seen hundreds of times, and you've heard their videos, and you've listened to their podcast, and you've had multiple conversations with them, even though they haven't had conversations with you back. You've had multiple
Right.
conversations with them, and you know that this person is good for it. So if everybody could understand that it takes hundreds of touch points in order for people to truly consider you in today's world, uh, you don't have a choice but to do social media, because you have to rack up the touch points some way. So
Mhm.
so that's how you do it. That's why.
And I think with so many different platforms too, and that reach is still kind of uh, scattered around, right? So it's just keeping it consistent too, which is very
Yeah,
important,
and there's
right?
like so many agents out there. Tampa Bay has 15 to 20,000, but there's only just a small percentage that are online. Small percentage that are doing social media, making videos. They're not in front of the camera, and if you want to go to like how do people get over that fear of like being in front of the camera
Right.
or
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
or
So, I think it's so funny because one of my clients just asked us yesterday in one of our coaching calls. I think the first thing, Tony, is that there has to be a mindset shift. Okay, and I
Mhm.
think the mindset shift um, is that everything is working. It's either working on you or it's working for you. Okay, so
Mhm.
so I think in the beginning, when I would get out the phone and I'm going on social media, and you're probably thinking, "Oh my gosh, I suck. This is not any good. Nobody's going to listen." Okay,
Mhm.
whether 3 people see it or 300 people see it or 3,000 people see it, it doesn't matter because it's working on you. It has to get to the point
Right.
where no matter what you're doing, you know that all those thoughts, and those thoughts still come in my head as well, right? Okay, all those thoughts,
Sure.
I know that it's working on me. It's getting me to overcome it. Okay. And so I understand that there's sometimes I'm doing the media and it's
Mhm.
working on me. It could be like maybe today, like I don't care. You guys know I go live. I can have crust in my I could care less. Okay, right. But I also know that there's certain times that I'm like, nobody's going to want to hear about this. Or I'm going to talk about something that's a really controversial, a really tough thing that could really trigger people.
Mhm.
Those posts are actually, whether people resonate or not, it's working on me because it's training me,
It's
Greg. You're
engaging.
not
Yeah.
putting things out there for people to like you. You're putting things out there because you feel as though you have a calling and a mission, and you feel led to say the things to people that others don't have the
Mhm.
courage to say to them, right? So that's when it's working on me. And then there's certain times where it's working for me, where I put out something and I didn't even realize that, oh my gosh, this thing is crushing it. Like people are really resonating with this message, right? And so if everybody can understand that everything that you put out, if you're a beginner, everything that you put out is working. It's all working.
Mhm.
Okay. It's just either working on you or it's working for you. I think if you can take that perspective, then I think you're good. Okay. I think number two is, if you want to be a premium based uh servant, a premium based entrepreneur, meaning that people trust you with really, really, really big decisions, right? So in the healthcare world, that would be, you know, uh, some of my clients have 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20, $25,000 offers, right? Okay, that's a
Right.
big decision, okay, for somebody to make. Some other healthcare providers, they're working for someone else and they're getting paid 25, $30, $40 an hour, okay? Uh, and so that's a
Mhm.
smaller decision, right? And they're probably using their insurance or this or that or whatever, okay? If you want to be premium, which is people are going to basically pay the big bucks, then you have to understand that the only way that's going to happen is that you're having multiple conversations before we ever talk about money. So if you know that that's the result that you want, that that's the path you want to take, then you don't have a choice. You have to fight through this. You have to do social media because the numbers have to work in your favor, right? And then I think the last thing I would say for those that are just struggling with this is that the only way you're going to achieve freedom, and freedom to me, at least from a financial standpoint, is that I'm earning much more money than I am spending, and I'm earning so much that I'm able to now take some of that money and actually build assets. That those assets could be real estate, it could be investments, this, that, da 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 da. The only way that's going to happen is if I achieve mastery. Okay, like in any industry, whether it's a real estate industry, it's a physical therapy industry, the physician industry, it doesn't matter. The people that are at the top 1% are the ones that basically write their own check. Okay, everybody else struggles. All right, and so if you're going to achieve mastery, there's going to have to be so much reps that are put in, and if you can just understand that every day I'm moving towards achieving mastery, and when I do achieve mastery, I basically cut my own check. That's how you get over it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I for sure the end goal, right? But I think that initial imposter syndrome, and then worrying about what other people are saying or thinking, or if anyone's watching. So it's all those, and that's really, you said about serving people in the mission. That is my goal personally. It's just to let, if I can do it, if we can be here on the camera, and it really is just through consistency and just, I had to go in with blinders. I really did. I had to continuously make content with however it's going to go. Just kept putting it out, right? Because once you start wondering and worrying, it kills that drive.
And also, I mean, just you even saying that, Patricia, is so huge for your audience. At the end of the day, this is about your audience, right? Your job is to be the messenger for your audience. Okay. And if you can't get over by the way, we all have imposter syndrome. Okay. If you don't have imposter syndrome, that's actually really, really dangerous. So that means you're not leveling up. That means you're really not doing anything to challenge you. Okay. So imposter syndrome is like, whoo, okay, good. Okay. We're definitely leveling up, right? So again, it's a different way of looking at it, right? But the big thing is that your audience is seeing this. If you acknowledge to your audience, like, I'm putting this out, but I got to be honest with you, like doing this podcast, I'm really scared. Okay. Or I'm like,
this is how this right here is me, Hot Mess Express. You know what I mean?
Your audience sees that, and your audience knows that even with me being a Hot Mess Express, which I am too. Okay. I am committed to serving you all every single day. Every day, I am committed to serving you in some way or some capacity. They see that. They understand that. They respect that. And now when it's time to, who am I going to use? I want to use the person that's most committed to me. I don't care about anything else but me. Who is the most committed to me?
Right.
And my well-being. That's who I'm giving my money to. And so when people see that you're doing this in spite of the fear, in spite of not feeling that you're enough, in spite of the imposter syndrome, you're still doing it and you're serving them. That means that they are more important than your feelings. That
absolutely
huge.
Yeah. Thank you, because it does take a lot. People feel that, oh, you're so comfortable in front of the camera, or you're and it's me pushing every single minute of the day, pretty much, to get where we're at. And I do believe it's that message. It's sending out to those that want to hear, right, and that it can help in the long run. And whether you're in real estate or not, I mean, this is just life in general. We're all busy. We've got our insecurities, but in order to be, not to say be seen, but that to grow that community and be heard, kind of need to be part of that scroll. Right?
And and the goal is obviously not to go. You don't need to go viral. You need to be able to find your audience, be able to talk to your audience, and talk to what they need to hear, and what are their fears, what are their goals,
right?
And be able to just focus just on that. You don't need to reach everyone in the world. You just need to reach your people.
Tony,
and this is talking about like
I've never gone viral.
You've never gone viral? Yeah, I mean, I know, and people, yeah, and then that's the other thing. There's people that buy followers, and you know, focus on that so much that it kind of throws your productivity
See,
off game a little
the
bit. You
thing,
know, so
like I highly advise people to play my game. Okay, all right, just
mhm.
just play my game because going viral. I mean, it's possible, and it's happened to a lot of my clients. But I'm actually
Mhm.
really happy I've never gone viral
Right.
because for me, it's like, wait a minute, it's like why do so many people work with me? And it's because of just consistency. Because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, when like I want to work with the big dogs. I want to work with the clients with the big problems, right? I want to condense, like for me, I'm trying to condense the I'm trying to play the time game, and I'm trying to condense the amount of time that it takes me to make money. It's not, for me, it's not make money at all costs. And you guys know me personally, so you know
Mhm.
my my commitment to other things in my life, right? You know,
Yeah.
my wife
Sure. Yeah.
and my kids and my personal well-being,
Mhm.
right? Like, and like, because I understand a couple things. Like I understand that probably the key to becoming the goat in your industry is just longevity. It's like, can you be around
Mhm.
for long, right? Like, and so if you're just around, like today, I look at my dad, and my dad is, he's been in the insurance industry for a long time. My dad works a tenth of the time that he used to work. He's 75, right? And he works a tenth of the
Mhm.
time that he used to work. He doesn't want to retire, but he works a tenth of the time, and he makes as much or more than he's ever made, right? It's just strictly off of longevity. He's been doing it for 40 years. So just off of longevity, if you're
Right.
somewhat decent, not even that good, just somewhat decent, and you have a decent reputation, you're going to get so much word of mouth just because you've been in a game for so long. And there's such
Right.
trust in the marketplace with you. So longevity is key, right? So if I
Mhm.
know that and I understand it's longevity, okay, then I've got to be able to play the time game, and I've got to be able to be in the game long enough so that I can, like I can truly win, right? I mean that is so huge, you guys. In order for you to be able to win and win big, and for people to be able to trust you. Okay, so let's get back to the whole viral thing. I know how people buy. They buy the same way that you and I buy, right? And the way that we buy is we're
Yeah.
like, all right, okay, I'm considering something, right? Okay, maybe I'm considering, buying a home. Okay, or I'm considering like I have a shoulder problem, I have a knee problem, I have whatever, a back problem, whatever. Okay, and now I'm considering it. Okay, so now I see somebody that gives me value, but then I go to their page, and I say that that's a second post that they put up. As much value as that person gave me, the trust, you said earlier, Patricia, the no like and trust, the trust is the
Mhm.
most important part. The trust is not there because
Yeah.
I only see one thing. But for me, even though my multiple things might have only a couple hundred or a couple thousand views, when you go and you look at my thing, you see hundreds. So you're like, this guy has been doing it for a very long time. And you look, you see, okay,
Mhm.
the energy is there, the intent is there, the value is there. I can trust him. And that's what
Mhm.
people are looking for. Okay, you already know they
Yeah.
know you because, well, they
Absolutely.
just saw your thing. Okay, all right. Now, whether they like you, I have to be honest with you. I think the like is the least important thing, right? Because when it comes to a big decision, like if you had a heart problem like right now, and
Mhm.
you needed to have surgery in the next 3 days, or your heart could stop, and you're looking for a cardiac surgeon, who are you looking for? Do you want to make sure this is someone that you would do a play date with your kids? You don't care. I need to fix my heart, bro. Okay.
You're
So,
right.
so,
Right.
so the like part is actually, it's actually the least important of the three. Okay. All right.
Trust.
Trust.
Trust. Yeah.
Trust
Mhm.
is so important. And the only way you can build trust is by repetition.
And I think video also shows a little bit of
Yeah.
transparency
Yeah.
too, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And then,
so
with time being like your major factor, same for us, right? Growing families, everyone's getting older, just life
Yeah.
in general, just, use your time wisely. So this is why we've, started with the AI and automation too. It's not just to say AI videos are the only way to go or AI is the only assistant, but it's a game
Oh
changer
gosh.
in the industry for sure.
It's been a
Um,
huge game changer for me as well. Huge, huge, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely changed the way we've done marketing. Definitely be able to um, reach the more audience, but not try and not be so inauthentic. It's hard to explain how AI works for most people, and so how do you break down AI to like, your audience?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it's very daunting, and there's so much out there.
Yeah, I think there's a
Mhm.
couple things. So for me, there's a specific way that I'm doing it now versus what I did
Mhm.
before. So I think with AI, what it does is it helps me kick the ball down the field. Okay. And that's one of the biggest ways that I use it. Here, I'll give you kind of an example. Um,
Mhm.
so on Tuesdays for me is usually the days where I do stuff like this, right? I have a podcast interview with you. I have people coming in, and I'm gonna host somebody for a podcast here. I'll do an extra coaching call for my clients, today, and that's kind of my thing, right? So typically, when I go into my podcast room, right, and I am getting ready to film podcasts, I'm talking like solo episodes. I would
Mhm.
have some of my media people, I would say, hey, give me some ideas for solo episodes. Okay. Those media people cost me anywhere between 55 to $70,000 a year. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Today, I actually don't need that. I actually go to my assistant and I look at AI
Mhm.
as assistants. Okay. They're not doing all my work. They're assisting me in my work. Okay. And so
Right.
I will basically
Mhm.
ask my AI agent, hey, give me some podcasts for today. Give me some podcast ideas. Now, that would not only cost a lot of money, that would take a lot of time because they're having to think of it. The AI assistants will give me 5, 10, 15, 20 ideas of podcasts. And and so I use it more to assist me, okay, in
Sure.
in move in kicking the ball down the field. Okay. My goal is to get the ball in the goal. But I need, but a lot of the legwork is if I'm over here at this person's goal, I got to get the ball over here on that person's on my goal. There is
Mhm.
about 80 to 85% of the work that the AI can do on my behalf. And so the way that I use it for social is I have it help me get my brain going. Okay. Give me the ideas. And then from there, it will help to kind of spark other things.
It's a
Yeah,
brainstorming
and
session.
here's the deal, Patricia. What
Mm.
I have is the
Yeah.
way that I've done it is we actually have trained our AI on our
Mhm.
business, on our audience, on our
Mhm.
systems, on our framework. So I actually have 5 unique AI assistants that do 5 specific groups of activities to help me run my business,
Right.
right? So I know that the person that understands their audience the best is going to be the one that wins. So I have an AI assistant
Mhm.
that helps me strictly with researching my audience at all times. Uh, The amount
Nice.
that he does for me, and they all have their names, okay? This AI
Yeah.
system does for me with that, I could never do by myself. Okay. I could never do. So I have an AI assistant for that. Okay. Then I have an AI
Mhm.
assistant that is helping me with coming up with different copy, different messaging that I can give to my
Mhm.
audience. The way that I message my audience is through email, through text, through social media. Okay. Okay. So give me different ideas and different ways that I can convey the same message to my audience because for me, it's always going to be the same message. I don't want to confuse my audience, but give me different
Mhm.
angles of how I can do that. And that saves me so much time. Sometimes I'm in a massive creative mode, but I noticed that this AI assistant helps me to get into that creative mode so much faster. Okay. All right. So I use it for that. Number 3, I use it for social media, for giving me a social media strategy. So Sassy is my social media strategist, and Sassy helps me
Oh.
specifically with, hey, I want to put out reels, I want to put out carousels, I want to put out stories. Can you take this concept and can you turn it into carousels, into reels and stories? Again, not perfect, but moves me about 80 to 85% down the field. Okay. And then I have an AI assistant that we've trained to do webinars and to do challenges, right? You know how long those things take to build, okay?
Yes.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. I
Yeah.
mean, webinars and challenges and events have been a huge part of how I've grown my mission. But now, what it
Mhm.
used to take me a month, month and a half, I'm able to do in an hour. and create new webinars and new challenges in an hour because Antonio helps me do that, right? So I use AI to help me with running my business, but AI still can't replace me. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
but what it can do is it can just help me move. And you know how hard it is to just start thinking, getting off
Move. Just to
move.
move,
It's
yeah.
like it's moved me. And then now it's like, okay, I've got the ball 85 to 80 to 90% down the field. Okay, now I just gotta kick it in the goal. Okay. And that's
And I love that. I love that scenario. I really do because I've totally visualized it because it does take you to that 85%, and you do need to make it your own towards the end, right, to get to that goal.
yeah,
So
yeah,
very nice. I'm a visual person. So
yeah.
Um, so I guess a lot of the clients, a lot of agents, they struggle to that step of finding the audience. How they put content out, but they don't know if they're reaching the right people or if they're niching it, they getting to be seen as the expert of that topic.
Right.
How do you do that? Because they're not like you can try it as hard as you want, but the search terms out there maybe you don't rank as high. So like, how do you become the expert of a topic?
Yeah. So I think there's a couple things. I think number one
Mhm.
is understanding that even though I know we're talking about social media, it's not the only way. Um,
Mhm.
and
Right.
so there's really three ways to grow your audience, right? Um, and understand that if you right now are listening and you're like, my biggest issue is people don't know me, then just make sure that you're focusing on awareness based activities. Okay. And so there, and that means that I'm just trying to get people right now to even know that I exist on planet Earth. Okay. And so there's three ways you can do that. Social media, which is organic based content, is one way, one of the three. The other two ways is to do paid traffic, okay, which I don't recommend for people just getting started, especially if you don't understand and know your messaging well yet. But the third way is the one that I do recommend for everybody to get started, and that's partnerships. Okay, and that is
Mhm.
there's already people out there that have the audience that you want. You have to figure out how you can bring value to those people that already have the trust with the audience that you want. You got to figure out a way and an angle to where you can serve them and serve their audience in something that's not competitive to them. Okay? That's just allowing them to look better to their audience because you brought them in, right? Like I'm hoping that this podcast bringing me in makes you guys look better, right? But I also am hoping that of there are people that are in your audience that have no idea who I am, and today they know who Greg Todd is. So it's a win
Yeah.
for all of
Sure.
us, right? It's a win. And so
Mhm.
that probably is the fastest way for people to get started. And I think that that's sometimes overlooked, right? Just
Yeah.
partnering is huge. All right. Now, okay, now let's go to the social stuff and
Mm.
how you actually get seen. Okay. But I think a lot of people sleep on the partnering and having a stage and having some type of value that you can give to someone that already has the audience that you want anyways. Okay, they already
Right.
have it. So it's like, hey, look, let me help your audience with this. Okay, I won't step on
Mhm.
toes over here, but let me help them with this. And let's see if we can do something together, right? Here, I'll just give you a quick
Yeah.
example. Like one of the things that
Yeah.
that I have is I have a it's called the Get Time Planner, right? The GT Planner. And it's basically a time management planner for entrepreneurs. Okay. And I think that managing your time is much more important than managing your money because time is finite, right? And money is not. So I think that's really important. So the way that I was able to initially get my planner out is finding entrepreneurs that even though they might serve very similar audiences to me, instead of me saying, hey, let me coach your people. I'm a better coach than you. No, no. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm sure your people are struggling with time, right? They're like, I'm running out of time, running out of time. Okay, here, why don't I help your audience with how to manage their time a little bit, better? So if I would go on their podcast, I would talk strictly about time management. No social media, no this, just time management. Like this is how I do it. Having multiple businesses, having kids,
Mhm.
homeschooling, this, that, da, da, da. This is how I pull it off. Okay, and so now I'm bringing
Yeah.
value to that audience. I'm making that person look good, right? And I'm coming at it from a
Mhm.
different angle, right? And so if you
Sure.
guys can do that, that's probably the fastest way to get in front of people that don't know you. Okay. And to
Mhm.
move them in your sales cycle even faster because now they trust the person that they're doing the podcast with, right? They trust that person. So now the trust has come over to you so much faster. Like, think of how many podcasts you probably listen to. Like, I listen to Ed Milet's podcast a lot, right? Okay. He's someone that coaches me. And basically, because I have such a strong affinity to Ed, there could be somebody that comes on his podcast. And the first time they come on the podcast, he says they have a new book out. And I go buy the book right away. How much
Right.
faster
Yeah.
did that
Yeah, 'cause living,
for them?
Yeah. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Yeah. Once that trust is there, and that,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I think
For
that's a huge thing. You could use social media to do that. Use social media now to build the relationships with the people that already have the audience. Okay. So that's just a different
Mhm.
way of kind of looking at it, right? Go find the people that already have the people that you want to sell to. Make yourself findable. So go to them, use social media to start the relationships with those people, right? Bring
Mhm.
value to their posts, add stuff, make sure that you're liking their stuff, you're commenting, you're DMing them if something's amazing, mentioning them on your page. Okay. Like, do that,
Mhm.
and that will build a relationship with them, and that will exponentially grow your audience faster than any social media
Right.
post. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about social media real quick. I think the biggest issue that people are missing with social media is that the majority of their content is around solutions. They're experts in their area. They know whether it's real estate. They know what things to look for. What da 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 da. Okay, all that stuff's great and that's cute and whatnot. But that's only one type of content, and people don't resonate with tips and solutions unless they already know you, right? Okay, so I think most people, that's where the majority of their content lies, and that's not really good for getting new people into your world. Okay, so let's talk about what is good. What is good is identity-based content and love-hate content. Okay, so identity-based content is whoever your audience is. Okay, maybe your audience is, someone that's in their 40s, mom, or it's a dad, or this or that, or whatever. Okay, whoever your audience is, you want to put out content that your audience is like, yep, that's me. Okay, the algorithm
Mhm.
loves that stuff. Okay, for instance,
Yeah.
right now, see this?
Mhm.
So I want to give you a quick story. Uh, I love South Florida. Obviously, that's where I'm kind of, I grew up. I was born in Jamaica, but I grew up in South Florida. And in 1994, the Florida Panthers, I was in high school, and they made the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay,
Yeah.
and it was like the best thing ever. It was so amazing, right? I was like so excited, da 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 da, and we lost all 4 games. Okay, we got swept in the Stanley Cup final. We didn't even win one game in the Stanley Cup, finals. Okay, the Colorado Avalanche, beat us. Okay, all right. Now let's fast forward to last year. So last year, the Panthers were in the Stanley Cup finals again. Okay, and now I'm in a different situation than 1994. And so I said to my son, the Panthers are in the Stanley Cup finals. The Miami Heat are in the NBA finals. This is never going to happen again. We finished SSAT Live. We went straight down there, and we went to Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and we went to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay, all right. Now, here's this is how it leads to awareness-based, content. I'm in an arena of people that I don't know, and when my team does something amazing, whether they dunk a ball or they get a power play or they score a goal, I can look to my neighbor who I have no idea who this person is. And I can be like, guess what? We are high five, and we're hugging each other. I don't know who this lady is. I don't know who this dude is, but that's what we're doing because we share a same identity. We are Panthers fans. We are Heat fans. We are Miami Dolphin fans. We are Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans. Okay? We share that. That's identity-based content. Identity-based content is content where someone that doesn't know you will actually raise their hand because you just put up something that says, yes, that's me, right? So if I'm a mom, right, and it doesn't have to,
or excuse me a second.
it doesn't, Hot Mess Express, okay? Right? So Hot Mess Express helps to identify.
We're all out
Moms
there,
will
yeah.
say, that's me. Like, okay, like I'm getting ready to show a house, but I actually realized I got my blouse on backwards. Hot Mess Express.
It happens.
Hey, tag your friend if that's you today.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
you get people that don't know you to know you. That's called identity-based content. Okay. Love
Mhm.
hate content is content that is very powerful as well because and it could be something that people love or they hate in the real estate industry, right? Okay, like for
Mhm.
instance the robocalls, right?
Yes.
The robocalls, right? It's
Sometimes.
like if
Sure.
if that's something that either people love it or they hate it. Okay, and so if I put out a piece of content like that, it's controversial, right? And you might be poking fun at even some of your colleagues or this or that or whatever, but that's love hate content. That's how you get in front of people that don't know you. Okay, using the
Mhm.
social media platforms, you've got to put up stuff like that. Like for me, you'll see on my page a lot of times what triggers the heck out of my audience is like pay at like Burger King or like pay at like I put a
Mhm.
post up about Bucky's. I don't know if you guys ever been there before, but
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
okay. All right. So Bucky's is like an experience on itself, right? Okay. But Bucky's, when we went up to Georgia like 3 weeks ago, on the way up in Macon, they had a Bucky's. And there is a sign that showed what they're paying at Bucky's. They're paying like $125,000 to be a manager at Bucky's. And so my audience, that's very triggering for them because they went to school and became a doctor
Mhm.
of physical therapy or a doctor of chiropractic or whatever.
Sure.
And people at Bucky's are making more than you coming out of school, like double what you make coming.
Yeah, it's a hard pill to
Yeah, that's a
swallow,
hard pill to
right?
swallow.
So,
But that's really
yeah.
good content to put out to get me in front of people that
Mhm.
don't know me. Okay? It's controversial, it triggers people, it da da da, but that's how you do it. Okay? Tip Solutions
Mhm.
doesn't do it because I don't trust you yet anyways. Okay? But Tips and Solutions is great for the audience that already follows you. And they're like
Right.
they lean on everything you say. But I feel like the biggest issue is people do too much tips and solutions and not enough of those two, and that's why they don't get in front of new people.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
balance. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
And I think with the videos, the partnering through duet remixes,
Yeah.
finding it in that way as
Huge.
well,
That's
right?
huge.
So
That's
that
huge.
puts you in front of
Yep.
that audience
Yep.
too. Mhm. I know. Right. Did you say something, Tony?
no. I just I thought that was totally great as far as the type of content you should be putting out there. It makes sense to um, have that in interesting, engaging content.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, going to and I don't do enough of the duets and remixes.
Mhm.
But again, picking a side, like taking someone's popular content and picking a side, either going against them or talking for them or giving a different angle of what they said. Like again, it's
Yeah.
pulling other people's audiences. But will people do it? Most people won't. Why? Because they haven't allowed the social media to work on them enough for them to do that. And so that's why I
I don't think people really know. I think a lot of people don't know the power of
say
social
they
media,
don't
right?
understand.
Or they're just seeing family photos, which is fantastic, right? But again, back to my other cup, which is create more,
Yeah.
consume less, because I think that's so important to create and make and put yourself out there. And so I'm not consuming as much, but I don't know why I just went into that
No, I think
direction,
that's
but
really important.
yeah.
No, I think that's important. It's the one of the first things I teach my clients, and it's just perspective. Like we just have to have a shift in the way that we use the tool, right? So
Mhm.
I tell my clients, do you want this thing to be social media or do you want it to be business media? Okay, for me, this is not for social. If I want
Right.
to talk to you, I will just text you. I'll text you, okay? Or I will,
Yeah.
hey, you know what, guys, we're having a party. We're having a thing at the house. Just come on over or whatever. Okay. I've just and I know a lot of people. I know that 95% of people use it for social, and that's fine. I'm trying to market to you. Okay. So it's just like
Mhm.
how when I'm sitting down and I'm watching TV, you're marketing to me, right? Okay. And that's totally fine. But for me, as the entrepreneur, this is business for me. Like I'm on here to network. I'm on here for you to get in to see me. And that cup is it. Create more, consume less. You just have to decide, do you want to be
Mhm.
used by it or do you want to use it? It's really it, you know?
Use it. Use it.
Dude,
And I used to refer to even TikTok when, when I started way back with Musically too, but it's the tool. It's a tool. All of this is a fantastic tool that we're
Yeah.
using,
and
and that's at our fingertips, right?
do you have a favorite social media app that you use, or that you like to promote with?
Yeah, the one that makes me the most money. And that for me is typically Instagram.
Instagram.
Typically Instagram. So the way that I do it for my audience is I use Instagram
Mhm.
primarily for awareness based content. I use Facebook for consideration and intent based content. So how I do it is um, Instagram for me. The way that the platform is set up, it is the fastest platform for me to get in front of new people organically. Okay, all right. I also do a lot of paid traffic as well. I do partnership stuff, but from an organic standpoint, Instagram seems to work the best for me. Right. It used to be YouTube. But then my YouTube account got hacked, so I had to start it over. So I'm kind of in the process of getting that going again. But right now, Instagram's kind of my bread and butter. So then when people come in, then I'm trying to bring them over. I get their contact information now. I'm not renting them anymore. Now I own the contact information, and then I'm trying to
Whenever.
push them to my Facebook group. And in my Facebook group, that's where I build a relationship with you, right? I go live in the Facebook group 3 times a week. I talk with you. I share stuff with you. I mentor. I, give people lots and lots and lots of advice. I do that through my Facebook group. I do that through my email. I do that through text. And so I use those to bring people to the point where now they're considering what I'm saying, and if I can get them to now have intent to say what he's talking about, okay, I want to put in my life now. I want this to be a part of my life. Then when I have a few times a year that I give you the opportunity to work with me, right? And so my job is to get people to, when I have those few times a year for people to work with me, when I can invite people to work with me, that they are ready to make a change. Okay. And those that are ready to make a
Mhm.
change, they become my customers. And so that's kind of my setup. The whole thing is business.
Yeah.
It's all business.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Were you saying something?
That was
Oh,
it.
I thought you were. Oh no, but yeah, for sure, business. I mean, because it's that if once that's understood, right? Because a lot of people, like, even just Instagram photos of your
Yeah.
meal, right? It's You're tagging a business. That's localizing your content
Right.
right there as a business
Yeah.
owner,
Yeah.
right? So it's partnerships outside of what you think. I think just any person that you come in contact with, everyone knows somebody, and everyone can help each other in different ways as well. So I absolutely
Yeah.
love networking and getting to know what you do and how we can help each other,
Right.
right?
Right. I mean, that's the big thing. You just want to get to the point where people understand. Like, I want customers, but I also want the right customers. I don't want customers at any cost. So it's not that I won't put up anything about my family. I do. I want people to know this is who I
Mhm.
am. This is what I stand for. Um, and I will put things up of my family, not to say it's my family. It's just I want people to understand why I have the boundaries that I have. There's different reasons now, right? Whereas,
Mhm.
hey, as you can see, like sometimes I will put up a picture of my me out at downtown St. Pete with the girls, so that you understand, don't bother me right now. You know?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
am. So instead of doing it so that you can say, "Oh, his family is wonderful," no, it's showing you so like, hey, right now you understand why I'm not responding back to your DMs. Okay, right? It's a different mindset. It's all business for me. Okay, it's
Mhm.
yes, and I also want people to understand like these are the things that are important to me. If this is not important to you, that's fine. But if you're not willing to understand and respect that this is important to me, then it's probably not good for us to work together, right? And so you really can
Right.
use social media and turn it into business media, and you could use it to get the perfect clients. You could use it to have great
Mhm.
boundaries. You can, but if you're not disciplined, it can use you. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm on here all day, but you're not doing anything on here.
Yeah. No,
All
I'm
you're
on there to research really,
Yeah, so you just have to be careful that this tool is so powerful. Use it appropriately.
for sure.
Okay. Patricia, do you have any more questions?
No, I mean, and again, we've learned so much from you and through SSHC,
Yeah.
and thank you for the opportunity to always be there and be part of it. But again, the connections and what you learn from each other, no matter what industry, it's all same framework. What we're trying to do here, and I think we met great Christina
Oh yeah,
Rogers.
Christine's awesome.
She's
Yeah.
a licensed mental health therapist, right? And we're talking about mindset shifts, so that's why I connected with her right
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
bat.
it's huge.
So.
It's funny. I had Christina on my podcast recently, and one of the things we
Mhm.
said is, like all the things you guys are saying, a lot of it is just, you know, like have you built yourself into the person to be able to take advantage of this amazing like opportunity that we have right now. You guys, like there was a time where if you wanted to get in front of people that don't know you, you had to pay a lot of money. Okay. Today,
Oh, yeah.
uh, it's not a guarantee that everything you're going to do is going to get in front of people that don't know you. But today, you can put
Right.
up short form video. You can do these things. Again, it might be uncomfortable for you, but you can do these things that would cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I remember when I opened up my clinic and I didn't have any customers. And I thought all these physicians that I knew before were going to send people and all this. None of it happened. I was so scared. I had put so much money. I'd taken out a massive loan on my home that I had on Fairbolt, our first home in Ivy Lake.
Mhm.
And I was just like, oh man, I can't believe I did this. And back then, I remember there was like an opportunity for me to get on this AM radio station. It's like 11:40 a.m. Like nobody listened to it, but it was like $4,000, and I was so desperate. I'm uh, like I guess because like how do you get in front of people that don't know you? But this is back in 2005. There was no social. There's none of that.
Mm.
So it's a whole
It
different
was
time
time.
now,
It's like
right? Mhm.
$4,000 to go on a radio station that you knew nobody listened to, but you're just like, I just need to get in front of people. I don't know what to do. And you're just like, at this point, okay, fine, whatever. Like I'll just do it. Right. And
Mhm.
today you can put up one 20-second video or one 6-second video, and you can get in front of more people potentially than paying $4,000 to be on AM 1140.
And that's what we want people to
Oh
know.
yes.
Exactly that. And especially for new agents or seasoned agents, right?
Yeah.
Because for the seasoned ones also, this is a whole other social media. Why? I don't want to do that. I'm a real estate agent,
Right.
right?
It's,
So,
it's, it's everything.
um,
It literally, we
mhm.
live in such a
Yeah.
unique time right now that the little person can actually win big.
And it's just making it happen, like really turning it on and making it
That's it.
happen because anything's
Yep.
possible,
Yep.
right? But we and speaking of Faribault, thank you too. We're also your real estate
Yeah.
agent, from before, which was amazing,
Yep.
right?
You've done great
Yeah.
Yeah.
things for me. Made me lots of money. Thank you.
Vice versa, you know what I mean?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, and I just went through you have that beautiful cabin in Helen, Georgia. I'm not Helen, sorry. Um
And
where is
Blue
it?
Ridge.
It's outside
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Helen.
In,
Where is
in
it?
Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Flourish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blue Ridge. Oh my gosh, we
Yeah,
love it
yeah.
there. But yeah, hopefully
We
we'll be
gotta have
back
you
soon.
guys
Yeah.
back up there. So gotta have you back.
Yeah, yeah. No, we thoroughly enjoyed that
Yeah, awesome,
vacation.
awesome.
It was amazing. But yes, thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much.
you so
And
much.
then any questions for us or
I
anything
think
or
what you guys are doing is a fantastic thing. I think at the end of the day, the one big thing I want to just leave everybody with is look, business is hard, okay? But business is of all the different types of assets that I have been able to build, some have been successful, some have failed. There is nothing that has given me a return the way business has. But it's hard, and it forces you to do things that you're not used to doing. Um,
Mhm.
the byproduct is money, but the thing that I know for sure will happen for everyone is you will grow into a better human being, someone that is can serve people better. And it usually, if you just do it properly, it will usually bless so many other areas of your life. So yes, things that we're telling you about and challenging you to do, yes, it will challenge you, and yeah, it's uncomfortable, but so many byproducts of blessings can come from it. So I just want to encourage you to
Absolutely.
just do it and go for it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
So much.
Appreciate your time, Greg Todd. And yeah, what we called you, healthcare innovator and more, right? Just about all everything. But
Okay.
yes, thank you
Appreciate
again.
you guys. Thank you.